This is a team built on sacrifice, forged through setbacks, and driven by belief that they can stand with the best in the world.
That belief on the inside of this circle needs to continue.
Every tackle hurts, every loss stings, but every moment brings them closer to rewriting history. They've faced injuries, heartbreak, and doubt.
How far I'm willing to push in terms of risking it to play a little bit underdone.
But every setback has only sharpened their edge. Because this jersey, this dream, is worth every sacrifice.
Taken back to the trauma of the last World Cup, being like, is this going to be like it for me? Sorry.
Now, on the biggest stage, against the best in the world, they're ready to show what it means to fight for Australia. This is the Wallaroos. This is their moment.
My name's Caitlin, I play for the Australian Wallaroos.
My name's Papadaki.
Charlotte Caslick.
Siokavesi Palu.
Myadia Ellis. I'm Maya Stewart.
I'm Caitlin Holmes.
I'm Emily Chancellor.
Desiree Miller. Faitala Moleka.
And what do you do?
Play rugby.
Exhilarating is how I'd describe rugby. I think rugby for women is such a beautiful sport. It's as aggressive as you would think.
It's very aggressive, but the camaraderie that you get from this game, you don't find friendships like this all over the world. Like it's a global game.
It's like chaos.
It's physical, a lot of grit, it's hard work. It's beautiful in parts.
I mean, I'm running around on the wing, they're packing down in a scrum, there's rugs. I think no other sport really offers that.
Yeah, you got to put your head in a dark place. It's connection, it's working for each other, it's friendship.
Coming from 7s to 15s, it's so tactical and you have to be really patient.
It's a team sport, it's all about cohesion, and there's so much you learn about yourself and what you're capable of, and the skills and lessons you learn, they're not just on-field stuff, it's stuff you take throughout your life, even in your personal daily life.
It's just harder than it looks.
Started off the test window for the Wallaroos this year with the Pac-4, first game being the Laurie O'Reilly Cup against New Zealand. I thought it was a much improved performance from our Wallaroos. They really looked like they were starting to close that gap against New Zealand, and we saw some other talents be unearthed with Tia Hines getting her first start at number 10, and I thought she put in a solid performance. Charlotte Caslick coming on the wing too, showed some really prowess in her kicking game that we hadn't really seen thus far. And there were some really proud moments for the Wallaroos in that game.
I think it was really exciting through Pac-4 to see the likes of Charlotte and Tia come through from the 7s and take their opportunities, and BB just to be back in that, to be in the environment, to sort of be thrown in the deep end and see how welcoming our group of 15s players were, but also how much the 7s girls wanted to be a part of the environment.
We then took the momentum from that game into a very successful win against USA, who are such a powerful physical side, and we really matched that from our forwards as well too, and we showed some exciting, exhilarating play from our backs, which we hadn't really seen against New Zealand either, and so they took some really positives out of those two games.
Definitely like our win against USA. We know that they're a tough component, and knowing that we're going to face them in the World Cup to come. And just trying that redemption from last Pac-4 in 2024, so that was a really big highlight for us.
Yeah, I'd probably say it's one of our best collective team efforts for the 80 minutes. I think we started really well, and then instead of just laying the foot off the pedal and letting them get back in, I think we stuck it to them and then played all the way to the full 80.
Full time has been sounded at GIO Stadium. Australia, in the end, calm winners USA fought very hard. Australia just about in control for most of the second half, and they win 27-19.
I think that momentum was kind of halted quite abruptly by Canada, and they proved that why they are number 2 in the world, and they're going to be really hard to contend with at the Rugby World Cup later this year.
Fredericks straightens, gets the offload away. Miller still going. Jessie Miller fights her way through the contact, and you won't be able to take that one off him. Jessie Miller with the try. Here at Suncorp Stadium, that is full time after a clinical Canadian performance. Canada 45, Australia 7.
There was a lot of really good growth that I think came from Pac-4 as a team. We set a good platform to be able to build on, and it kind of left us pretty hungry, I think, because we didn't get the performances necessarily that we expect of ourselves.
It was a good series for us to build some depth in our squad as well, and that's something that Joe's been really passionate about leading into the World Cup. Like we want to take 32 people on that plane that, you know, if something happens, touch wood, to a starting player, then that next person comes in and does a job just as well. So I think that series is really important for that.
We obviously play New Zealand a lot, so we kind of know what's coming, but what we face against New Zealand will be very different to what we face against England as well. So it's more just around that, like the collision area, and trying to make sure we're winning those areas, because the Northern Hemisphere bring much more of a kicking game to what New Zealand bring. But then Canada play extremely quick, which England are. You know, they play quick too, so you know there's elements of all those games, but not just the on-field stuff, but the preparation and the players getting used to playing against these top teams and knowing that they can match these top teams and having that confidence to do that.
I thought Bessie had a great campaign. You know, she's really blossomed nicely in that 6 role, and especially in captaincy, she's a great leader. So at the moment, it sucks to miss her. I thought Charlie was amazing. You know, poor thing's been bumped around to every position, but she's shone in every single one. So that's just a testament to her career and her experience and the footy player she is. I've just seen a massive growth from everyone, so it's hard to pluck it out when everyone's doing such amazing things.
Pac-4 was really good. I think just the ability to play multiple test matches in Australia before we start our World Cup campaign was really important. We had the most test matches we've ever had in preparation for a Rugby World Cup, so I think just the amount of time in camp and on the field together has really benefited the squad.
It's been pretty full on, I feel like, just because I'm also still in school. So I've had to try keep up with some of my schoolwork, and we go into our trial exams in 2-3 weeks. We have our trial exam period. So yeah, it's been pretty full on, but so exciting. But yeah, I don't think I've ever been like, this is too much, like I can't really do it, because everyone, like the coaches and the players, I feel like they all have belief in me just to go out there and just, like, do my thing, I guess. So yeah, I think I've just embraced everything and soaked it all in, which has been pretty cool.
Yeah, vital preparation for us. Obviously the nature of the back-to-back test matches in terms of how we prepare the girls and what our weeks look like and being able to turn things around. So yeah, it's really important.
We kind of just made sure the focus is on us and making sure that what we do at training translates onto the field, and we have seen glimpses of that. We saw that last time we played Black Ferns, that first half was super competitive. So yeah, we are taking little bits of confidence from each time we play.
They're building really strongly, and the Pac-4, you don't need to be necessarily winning all of those games, you need to be learning out of them, and all of those lessons I think they're slowly putting into place, and it's going to lead into a really exciting run for the Rugby World Cup.
We talked about it the other day. As an individual focus, the blast and jackal is a real opportunity for us, but the tackler must roll. Okay, we need to nominate who is on ball and be really clear on our chop. There's a few areas that we were focused on. One, just like around our attack breakdown, because we're really keen to play quick. You know, we've got some quick backs and back row, and we want to play quick, so we're looking at how we can speed up the breakdown. And then the team focus, and something I just want you to spend a couple of minutes on now is you need to be able to communicate the cues and have a chat now with the person next to you around what cues are you looking for to be able to help the team. So So just have a chat with the person next to you, and the same around line out. I know you've got cues to look for. Just have a chat around what cues can you be feeding in to support the team defensively.
For the next 2 games, it's really about getting that continuity, making sure that we're all on the same page. We know our attack plan, we know our defence plan. It's just kind of sharpening the axe.
Chop into blast on the shields. Okay, we've done this before. Off you go, nice and quickly. Spread yourselves out. There's 3 groups. Thank you, Ash. Good start. Let's go. Who's on that group? Good. Okay, let's go again. Reset.
Joe's done a really good job at creating depth within our squad, so that rotating piece is important as well to make sure we've got fresh bodies for the World Cup. And I think that, yeah, we're in a really good space at the moment.
By having Wales coming over and playing these test matches gives you exposure again to a completely different format of rugby. Every country plays very differently. Yes, there's key things, but by having a European team come over and playing their format, that really structured game around their set piece, which is really important for them, I think is key for us to, especially heading into a World Cup where you come against so many different kinds of teams, and these 2 weeks for us are extremely important to iron everything out before heading onto that plane to the World Cup.
The prep's been really important for these next 2 games, and I think that hopefully the next 2 games, getting those wins will give us confidence going into the World Cup.
We're intentionally going to compete in front of them and get up, and then we're going to make sure our transition's smooth from there.
That's a massive fix from what we had against that game in New Zealand. Like, as soon as we know that that line out's lost, you can get on our bikes and hit it. Get your head in a dark place, get low, and see your job do a job. 2 on 2, 1, 2.
It's funny when you're in the situation because you forget that not everyone sees the work that's being put in, but and even as a group, there's so many other little things that everyone's dealing with and is doing behind the scenes. I think a lot of the long hours that we put in off the field, you know, everyone's either reviewing, doing their extras. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't really realise the calibre of how hard we're all working because they're only seeing the 10% of the 100% of the week. So yeah, that 90% is pretty much unseen, but it's nice to have a team that is all going through the same thing and staff that are also, you know, in a similar boat.
It's like inspiring for young people to look up to, especially young women. It's not just about like representing myself and my family, but it's representing young girls who, you know, who may not feel like they're good enough, or, you know, might be insecure or feel like they need to, or they want to work for something more than themselves. That's, yeah, I think being able to represent my country and showing that to the younger generation is something I will never take for granted.
Ultimately, they're here because they're good enough to be here, so it's kind of making sure we're reinforcing that all of the time with them. This is your tackle profile from training this week, so which is really good, right? So that's your percentage there, and how we've implemented them into the training sessions and the pressure situations within trainings, and seeing how they cope with that to then obviously put them then out there in the test matches. And yeah, the players have stepped up really well with that.
I think I feel like I'm being better at taking that space now, but then to try and target in these areas, I'm getting into more of that knee drop rather than square with my feet underneath me to actually keep driving.
Yeah, go kill. Focus on making sure that when we get here, we don't go hips and swing out the back, that we're trying to really deliberately get that inside square.
When I was younger and I knew that I wanted to play rugby union for my country, I was looking at a lot of male players, like your David Pocock, your Michael Hooper, Mario Toje, players like that. I was looking at men, but I think that the incredible thing about the space that we're going into is that young girls can look at women like your Emily Chances, like your Charlotte Caslicks, and see that there's women in the space that they can look up to, and I think that's really important for representation.
I know now, if I ask a lot of women who are in this team a little bit older than myself, and I go, who was your icon growing up, athlete, they usually name a male. Whereas now, you ask a young girl, who's your idol, they have female athletes who they now say. My little sister's 8, I probably talk about a lot, but my little sister's 8, and she recently had to go to school dressed up as an athlete starting with T, or dressed up as something starting with T. She went as Adiana Talakai. But that in itself is huge, right? That these young girls are now going as athletes, as women who they aspire to be, and that's never happened before. And I think that's really incredible, but it also shows how important, like, young girls being able to see women in the game and on TV, and social media is huge for us now, because these athletes are now able to promote themselves individually, and these young girls are coming through and being like, well, why can't I be? Why can't I be the next Alona Mar? Why can't I be the next Ariana Talakai? Because to them, why wouldn't they be, right?
In past years of Wallaroos, we've said we want to, influence a generation. We want to get to a point where people stop us on the corner of a street with a little girl saying like, wow, like it's Emily Chancellor or it's Desi Miller or like Maya Stewart, and that's because we've helped to create a really great image of what a female rugby player is, and I don't think we're there yet, but I think it's also really cool to see in the stands girls with bubble hair just like Desi, because they want to be like her, and we're definitely part of that at the moment. It's just a smaller space.
When I was younger, getting into sport, I always wanted to play at the highest level. I didn't know what sport that was going to be, but obviously I found my calling to rugby, and then as soon as I put my boots on for the first time, I knew that I wanted to represent my country one day.
There's just something so special about it. You know how many girls would kill to wear the jersey, how many miss out each week or strive to be there. So I think you take that and you wear that responsibility when you wear a gold jersey.
I think it means everything. Coming from Shim at New South Wales and the way I used to view the world, and to now, I never thought I'd have this opportunity, and now to do it with some of my best mates and to be part of a special 32 in Australia that get to travel, and then potentially part of a 15 that get to take the paddock, at 23 that get to be there on the day and get on the paddock. I think, I don't take it lightly.
I guess it means everything. You're like, you as a little girl, it's like everything you sort of do growing up. Like you play heaps of sport and like you come full circle, and I think it's not probably me, it's more like family, mum and dad, like coaches that you've had in the past. It's like, I think it means more to them to see you at like the pinnacle of your sport. So you sort of hold that in your stride in everything that you do.
For me personally, I feel like it's not about me. Like, although I'm the one that's wearing the jersey, like there's so many other people that got me here to wear the jersey, so I wear it to represent those who helped me on the way. My family being probably the top people, my mum and dad, my Uncle Ben. So, just remembering those who really sacrificed a lot, even though like I'm not their actual family, but they were willing to help out, because I'm brought up in a big family. So for me personally, I don't wear it for me, I wear it for those who sacrificed their time, their money, their strength, everything that they did to help me get here.
We don't worry about anything that is brought outside this circle today. What I saw last week when you walked out onto that pitch in Wellington was a team that had a real confidence about them. It was a confidence in here. It wasn't swagger, it wasn't arrogance. It was confidence in hard work that's been done. That confidence needs to continue. That belief on the inside of this circle needs to continue. The time for talk is over. You've earned this moment. And anything that happens outside this circle today is not our concern. Control what's inside this circle. Control the accountability. If your teammate tells you to go, you go. If your teammate asks you to push a bit more, you find a bit more. We control everything inside this circle. Anything outside this circle today, we don't care about. You've earned this opportunity through hard work. Control the moment today. Pull tight and control the moment. And go be great.
driving, letting the forwards do the work. Out wide for Cody. The Wallaroos are in.
Annabelle Cody returns to this Wallaroos lineup. She has been impressive.
Thunder, rain and a strong opposition couldn't stop them. It's an historic win for Wales. They win on the road for the first time in 818 days. They defeat the Wallaroos 21 points to 12.
Hard work in this past couple of months. Lucky enough, we've got another week to go. Another test match next week. We have to turn it around. We can't let that be us, yeah? We're better than that. We're the better team, and we know that we are. We've got to build from here.
So this week, a shorter turnaround. So yesterday, instead of it being a full day off like normal, we're trying to simulate what it would be like in World Cup, which is travel day on Monday.
Tomorrow will be a heavy contact day, get those hits in and practice our D shape more thoroughly. And then Wednesday we're travelling back to Sydney. Thursday is our mixture of fast and captain's run because we play on Friday. So slightly different to what we're used to, but nothing that we haven't done before.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3!